There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day.
Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev L. Zia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you.
Here we are. Good morning, everybody. I'm Alice Nutter, a practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living Denver, and I invite you to join me in an invocation. So if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and sit back in your seat and just take in a deep breath and just let it out. And just moving into that space and that place that is always here, always, always moving, living, and breathing, each and every one of us. It surrounds us. It is the air that we breathe in. It is the floor that we stand on. It is everything in everyone. And from that place, we know the highest truth of this service, knowing that Dr. Roberts' talk is blessed, that Susan Clark's music is wonderful, that the reading I have is wonderful, and that everybody leaves this with something that makes their life feel better. And we are so blessed. We are so blessed with the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. We are so blessed with each person who chooses to either watch us online or come and join us in person, knowing that we are all so truly, truly blessed. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful. And from that place of deep, deep gratitude, I release this into that one mind, that one heart, knowing that all is well, and it is so. And so it is. Amen. And our reading this morning comes from the newest Science of Mind magazine, Pieces into Peace, and it's awesome. And we want to try to share the readings from this as often as we can. So mine comes from day one of the daily readings, and it's by Mary Davis. And she says, "Peace is a friend." As we welcome this new month and season of the heart, let's begin with a gentle reminder. Everything we need to navigate the storms of life we will find within, including peace. This week, I found myself in the middle of one of life's storms. As I rocked on seas of change and uncertainty, I searched for the coordinates of inner peace. I remembered that in the eye of a storm, there is a tranquil oasis, just like there is in us. As I looked for a path to my calm center, I noticed that small moments of beauty and gratitude unveiled my peace. I found peace in the soft pink clouds of sunrise. I found it in the joyful song of the cardinal. I found it in a deep breath, in the kindness of a friend, in meditation, in prayer, in caregiving. It was here, hiding in plain sight. Today, as we set sail on a journey into the very heart of peace, it might feel like an unattainable dream. But when we look at peace through the sacred eyes of spirit, we realize that inner peace is not a dream for the future. It's a practice of many small steps that combine to create a new way of life. It's an it's an adventure of spirit and an advertisement. Peace is a friend who never leaves, a friend who reminds us that these challenging pieces of our lives are not separate from the peace of divine love. Peace lives right here within us, illuminated by the simple, sacred moments of each day. And from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes from 365 Science of Mind, I now turn to the spirit within me. I know that it is close to me, it is what I am, and it governs my life in harmony and peace. And so it is. And now we have Susan Clark this month, yay, as our guest musician. So welcome, Susan.
Hello, Susan Clark here. And I want to thank you for asking me to provide your special music for the month of September. Can you believe it? September? Woo! You know, I saw something funny on the internet. It said something like this. Oh my gosh, it's September. It's almost Halloween. I better go pick out my Halloween costume. Oh, and then I better get the turkey for Thanksgiving, stick it in the freezer just so I'll be ready ahead of time, right? And then, oh my goodness, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And then let's not forget, Happy New Year. It's just water, but but it kind of feels like that. This time of year, it's everything is accelerated as we make the final push to the end of 2024. I love the topic this month, especially the first week, I guess, of September. It's about peace, pieces of peace, all the different types of peace. Of course, we all know that peace is in the center of our being, and peace starts with us, begins with me, as the favorite song of ours goes. And then there's also peace in the neighborhood, peace in your community, peace in the world. So especially as we're going into the political season, I think it's important for us to keep a level head and just remain patient and as peaceful as we can. So that would be my message for all of you coming up this fall. And just in case you were wondering what $925 worth of firewood looks like, here it is. Instead of gathering nuts for the winter, I'm gathering firewood. Anyway, always happy to visit with you, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Hello to all my friends there at CSL Denver, and a special welcome to those of you who might be joining us from who knows where. My name is Susan Clark, and I'm here to provide some music for your service today. I picked out a song by a new artist to me. I had not heard of her before. Her name is Patricia Bahia, Bahia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is called Peace Will Find a Way. All right, here we go. Like a flame reaching to the sky, turning pain and suffering into light, like a water flowing clear and carving through the stone. I believe peace will find a way. Peace will find a way, like the wind that brings a
And hello again, dear ones. It's a Sunday morning, and for some amazingly weird and crazy reason, I chose the title of Creating a World of Love, Peace, Prosperity, and Empowerment for All. Because the truth is, that's like a 4-week series, and we don't have that kind of time this morning. But I chose that, and I'll be straightforward with you. I was being kind of lazy. See, that phrase, creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, prosperity, and empowerment for all, is the mission statement, the vision statement of New Thought Media Network. It's part of our guiding ideal. And if you're at all familiar with New Thought Media Network, you've heard that somewhere over the last 4 years, because it's said at the beginning of every program we do, and it is shared in some way, shape, or form in everything that we do. So I bring greetings today, not only from the New Thought Media Network, but also from the International New Thought Alliance, which is a wonderful, amazing, over 110-year-old organization now that I have been blessed to be invited to be a part of their board of directors this past summer. It's been a while since I've been here and seen all of you, so we got a little bit of news to share. And I also bring greetings from the affiliated New Thought Network, also known as Anton, where I also sit on the board. Which made me kind of think, as I was sitting here this morning listening to the music, I heard this voice say, and you're bringing greetings from the time beyond this timeline. I bring greetings from the time beyond this timeline. Because while I cannot and will not try to speak in 30 minutes about all 4 of those pieces of our title today, creating a world of love, peace, prosperity, and empowerment for all, what I do believe I can speak to is a vision of what happens when we get there, a little bit of how we can get there. If you're sitting within 10 feet of my wife right now, you can hear her saying, okay, I want to know how we do this stuff, not just what we're going to do. From my perspective, the world sits at the nexus of a great change. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Now, regardless of how we want to frame that change, some people frame that change talking about the environment, but some people frame that change talking about politics. Some people frame it talking about civil rights or human rights, or, oh my God, he said it, there we are, we're going to talk about human rights again. No. What I want you to be, what I want you to consider, what I invite you to dive into today is something a little different. Hey, that phrase, creating a world that works, creating a world of, it sounds eerily familiar to a lot of mission statements I've heard in the last handful of years. Right, even here in the Denver metro region, we have other communities that have used a phrase similar to that. At the national level, we have organizations that use phrases that are similar to that. And it all comes back to a little book that was written by a man who I've had the pleasure to interview a few times now, Sharif Abdullah. And in 1999, he published Creating a World That Works for All. Now, that was back in 1999. Along the way, we now have, creating a world that works for everyone, creating a world that works better for people, and over time, I've had this chance to sit with Sharif virtually a few times, and eventually I got to the question with him. I was like, okay, we're 20 years out. We're more than 20 years out since you wrote that. Are we getting anywhere? And he hemmed and hawed just a little bit and fell on the side of yes. However, it doesn't look like what I thought it would look like. Okay, so what would you change? And his eyes lit up and he said one word. I would add the word life. Creating a world that works for all life. John, if you would bring up that Sharif slide, please, for us. A world that works for all is not achievable without restructuring our priorities, our attitudes, and our culture. We cannot tinker with this. The change must be fundamental, an evolutionary shift towards spiritual compassion and corresponding shifts in our action. In short, a transformation of head, heart, and hand. We must work on ourselves first and then be prepared to do the work on our culture and institutions. You with me? You with him? Those that have heard me speak before, you know I'm real big on how do we create a personal environment that reminds us of these truths, that keeps these things fresh, these ideas fresh before us. That is the signature block on my email. Now, you might not receive an email from me every day, but I'll tell you, I read that every day, dozens of times. As we navigate this great shift, I have to invite you to create that environment, however it might be, technologically, in the plants that you have in your home, in your office, in the signs and the symbols that you hang in your office, in your home, around your neck, whatever it might be. Let yourself create the vision of the time beyond this timeline, in a time beyond where we are. See, if we want to back up just a little bit and go back a ways, there was a time when no one foresaw the political system that the United States operates under right now, or that Europe or the UK or anywhere in Africa or anywhere in South America, anywhere on this planet. We are living in a time that no one could foresee at some point. How many people like to hang out on YouTube? I like to hang out on YouTube. Beyond just the ministry, I like to hang out on YouTube. And there's a great guy who's out there on YouTube. I'm going to make you go find it. And he explores the desert southwest of the United States. Utah, Arizona, all that, right? Anybody ever been to the southwest, to the desert southwest and hung out in the deserts, right? All kinds of native culture. The problem is most of it has been left to, well, blow away in the wind for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 years of it. And there are people that were living there, and he explores the ruins, and he does a great talk of he does a great job of helping you to imagine you were there, knowing that we can't really know what it was like to live on a cliff with a few corn husks and maybe some water, and we have no idea what the crops were like, and we have no real idea how they went about how they maintained a culture. It took a lot of nurturing to shift that culture to what we are today. We are living in their time beyond the time, their timeline. Still with me? Cool. So, in the future, new thought will look much different than it does today. And if we consider for just a moment, what we live in now, new thought, looks much different than it did at the turn of the century, 100 years ago, when a guy named Thomas Troward stood on the street corner out in front of the Althea Center and got his picture taken as the vice president of the International New Thought Alliance. That same organization I now get to serve. So there is a timeline of how we each get to show up in our own way, using our own unique set of gifts and skills and talents to serve the time beyond this timeline. In Sharif's quote, he's very clear. Yeah, we got to take care of ourselves first, right? Put on your own oxygen mask. We have heard this analogy for, how about you? I've heard it for 20 some odd years now in this movement.
Take care of yourself first. Folks, if we haven't learned how to take care of ourselves first, we're in the wrong place. In my perspective. Yes, I don't know why that just happened. Let's try that again. There we go. If we haven't learned how to take care of ourselves first, truthfully, we're in the wrong place. I believe the future of New Thought is not as much teaching the basics as it is providing a container whereby we can all go deeper, where we can go to another place, a time that we maybe don't understand, to explore how we take this to a broader audience, how we open the doors of our own consciousness to be part of this nexus of change. And along my journey, I've been told so many times that, changing culture is a long and messy job. You might have heard that somewhere too. I don't believe that. I used to buy into that. It used to be a cute little catchy, phrase when somebody's having a hard time or doesn't understand or is wondering, what do I do to get beyond this? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you how before we're done. What do I do to get beyond this? And we would say, well, it's a long and messy journey sometimes, and you're just going to have to wait it out. And no, bull. Double down on your spiritual practice. Double down on the expansion of your consciousness. Double down and don't take no for an answer. Stand up and stand out. Make it so blaringly obvious that you know this stuff, that you're not a beginner at this any longer, that we have a community of experts. And when I look on the room, if you're out in the virtual world, you should see the room, because I look at the room and I don't see a bunch of people living in the oh poor me and the victimhood of life. I see a bunch of people that truthfully have all that is necessary to help move this move this movement, make the movement move. There's a little Easter egg for my music friends. Make the movement move. So how do we go about that? Well, those that know me know generally where I'm going to go next. Visioning. We have a spiritual technology that allows us to step out of time. It's actually intentionally designed by Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith to help us step out of the timeline we are in and envision and tap into and catch a glimpse of the timeline that is yet to be. Where we're going, what we're doing. So how do you specifically get there? How do you do this? How do you be part of this change? Sorry, I don't know. I know I promised you I was going to tell you, but I don't know. I don't know how you're going to do it. But I know there is that within you that does know. I know there is that within you that does know what is your unique gift to give. What are the gifts and the skills and the talents that you are here to share? What is that amazingness within you that only you can give? And I do know how you can find that. Visioning. I'm starting to change the term, by the way, just a little bit. So if anybody hears this or you catch this in any of my writings online or anything, I'm looking at visioning from a different lens, and I'm saying it's meditative inquiry. Meditative inquiry. I move myself into a meditative state, and then I inquire. A long time ago, a dear friend walked out onto the stage in California at a Silomar conference, and walked out onto the stage and opened his talk by saying straightforward, the quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of your questions. Need to hear that one again? Yeah. The quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of your questions. How many people have ever asked a teenager a question and gotten a, I don't know? That doesn't mean you weren't asking a quality question, by the way. But think about how when you ask a teenager a question and you get an I don't know, you still want an answer, right? So you got to rephrase the question. You got to ask the question in a different way. You got to ask a different, you got to change the quality of the question. If I ask the universe, why is this happening to me? Generally get a teenager say, I don't know. What's in your consciousness? Which is here on planet Earth, what we call the metaphysical slab. We don't do that to each other, or if we do, we help each other remember that's not what we do to each other in the human form. So if we are in a place where we don't know, the questions become the key. What is the highest vision for my life? What must I become in order to experience this vision? What needs to be let go of so we can all embrace this and experience this vision? What needs to be embraced? What is mine to do? What information needs to be here? What is the most important thing for me to begin or for me to complete? Where am I being called to serve or to give? Not just, would you like to supersize that? How are you here to serve? Now, we're talking a little bit about Michael Beckwith today in the visioning process, and it works out perfectly because I did this, I put it together. Michael also has the 4 kingdoms of consciousness. And if you've hung out in a CSL community at any length over the last 20 years, you've probably heard this. And truthfully, I've seen it in popular culture in so many places that if you haven't realized, the word is out about New Thought. It's just nobody calls it New Thought. Nobody talks about spirit or God or Buddha or Brahma or Allah or Vishnu. They occasionally drop the word oneness and occasionally will drop the talk about the universe. But what we teach is all over TikTok and Instagram. If you don't realize that, please, I'm sorry, I'm the one to break the news. Our great little secret that we've been holding on to for 50, 60, 80 years now is no longer truly a secret. We are no longer the best kept secret in the world. The organizations might be, but the philosophy isn't. So we get to go out there and we get to say that there's this visioning process that Beckwith developed, and it connects with our understanding of the 4 stages, or what he called the 4 kingdoms of consciousness. We are first a victim. Life is happening to me. We then find some empowerment. Ooh, I used one of my 4 words. Goody, goody. We then find some empowerment, and life is happening by me. I have some control over it. I need a parking spot. I pray for a parking spot. I need $50. I pray for $50, so on and so forth. We move from there into the through me stage, where life is happening through me, but I'm still the one that says, yeah, I'm going to go over here and direct my life energy towards that project versus this project. This is the division we see in our political beliefs right now. People that believe life is happening through me, and therefore there's no way my candidate can't win. And then we get to the place of as me, where I'm open to what is what is. It is what it is. And I'm going to work with what happens, regardless of who wins or loses, regardless of that didn't work, or this business went under, or this crumbled, or I lost a relationship. And we work in that place of what is. And all of that is putting our own gas mask on putting our own oxygen mask on first. All of that. I spent some years on the road with the hippies. All right. So all of that is putting our own oxygen mask on first. David Alexander released a book earlier this year, and if we can, John, we're going to bring up that next slide real quick. It's called The Promise of New Thought, Liberation Theology, Freedom from Discord. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you don't have $16 to get it on Amazon, borrow it, find it. And he talks about taking us to a fifth consciousness. So he changes it to the fifth realm. The fifth realm of consciousness seeks to apply the principles and practices gained in the struggle to break out of victim thinking and live in a deeper mystical awareness, even if briefly, to the whole society as an affirmation of our awareness of our oneness. Gone is any dense, typo, my fault, any sense of, I got my enlightenment, you go get yours. And in its place is a sincere desire to serve humanity in specific and tangible ways. No excuse for the typo. I did it this morning. That's why my camera was still on in my office in the studio when some of us came to the virtual studio. Bring that back up for me, would you, John, real quick? Apply the principles and practices we have gained. Thank you. Apply the principles and practices we have gained through the basics. Center for Spiritual Living. How long you guys been here now? It's an organization, not in the, like all the way back. 27 years. And in that time, this organization has taught countless people across the Denver metro region the basics. And not one of them has forgotten that. Not one of them has walked away going, oh, well, that was a waste of 5 years, or oh, that was a bunch of bull, or this has been a beacon of the growing edge of new thought from its very inception. We know that. We can go back and look at the records, the archive, the written record of this community and see how this thing was started by looking at a time such as this. Looking beyond the time of that timeline into this timeline. And what I firmly believe, and I know it by speaking with Reverend Elzia, I know it by when I hear the stories of what happened in this room last Sunday, I know it by your willingness to consistently look into the future and say, how can we best serve? Now that's a quality question. How can we best serve the emergence of this thing called new thought? I was in a conversation recently. I get into a lot of really wild speculative conversations, by the way. You know, that what if this goes away? What if this doesn't? What if this rises up? What if that really happens? I get into a lot of these crazy, crazy questions, conversations. And out of those come some fairly unique questions. And I'm going to keep talking because the one I wanted to share with you just flew right out of my head as I was trying to explain why we were getting to that question. But it'll come back at some point. I promise you, that's the way this works. So in this question, there are a lot of people that are asking, what happens next? And in one of those conversations, see, it just came back. In one of those conversations, somebody suggested, well, what if we all stopped calling ourselves a Center for Spiritual Living or a Unity Center or a religious science community? What if everybody, and I don't want to take anybody's identity away from them, right? Nobody wants to say, oh, you got to throw away everything you've been for 27 years and start being something different. No. But the question was, what if we all just start adding a little tagline and say we are a new thought community? Center for Spiritual Living Denver, a new thought community. New Thought Media Network, a new thought community. The affiliated New Thought Network, a New Thought community. International New Thought Alliance, a New Thought community. Mile High Church, a New Thought community. Althea Center for Spiritual Living, a New Thought community. My mind is racing saying, I don't know what Joel Osteen's church is called, but a New Thought community. What if we become New Thought? In the time beyond this timeline, we can envision a world that works for all of life under the banner of New Thought. We might eventually have to let go of some of the old identity. The change of culture might be a little messy. It is taking a little longer than I would like. But if I bring greetings from the future, I bring greetings that say, all is well. All is well. It's another one of those old pithy statements, right? That everything works out in the end. So if things aren't working out, don't worry, it's not the end. Thank you. Okay. Note to self, keep that joke. Why not? I know there are things in the New Thought movement right now that can very easily be translated as, oh my God, this is horrible and no good, rotten day. This is horrendous. How can we survive this change? And as someone that is in a lot of conversations, Centers for Spiritual Living is not the only organization having that conversation within themselves. Happening in a lot of places. We are at a nexus of the great next evolution of what is New Thought. Not just Holmes, not just the Fillmores, not just Troward, not just Emerson, but one. David Alexander is asking us to move into a consciousness of as we go forward, as we bring this philosophy to the world, as we support people in waking up to their own magnificence. Where can we go? I invite you to imagine that, not just today. Make it part of your environment. Find a way to make it part of your email signature. Hey, I didn't have to make it full screen that time. It came back quickly. And if you want to know how, come vision with me. Come vision with me. Every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. I know for Mountain Time that feels kind of early, but look at it this way, at least you're not in Hawaii or the West Coast. So come vision with me. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on YouTube, do a search, New Thought Media Network, we shall show up. If not, there's links on your website to go to our website, actually, because I consider this a sister. LZ and I have talked about this. I love you guys. I consider you a sister organization, and I thank you every time. You know what you're getting into when you invite me to speak. So I thank you every time you invite me to come back and speak again. Come vision. Spend 45 minutes on a Monday morning with me. And I guarantee you, if you do that a handful of times, you're going to find out what is yours to do. You're going to have a better idea of what unique set of gifts and skills and talents you are here to share with the world. And if I do my job right, you're going to be inspired to go out there and share those gifts with the world. And folks, that is how we create a world that works for all life. If you're in a comfortable place to close your eyes, please do so and join me in prayer. One power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that is moving and breathing as my life, as your life, as all of life perfectly. One self-existent cause that is forever taking on form and experience in order to abandon those forms, abandon those experiences, so it may take on new form, new experience. One life, living itself as your life, perfectly. Whole, complete, nothing missing, nothing absent. In this recognition of the oneness of life revealing itself, I claim for each one that may hear these words now, at another time, in a virtual world, in another dimension, in the time beyond this timeline, this oneness that we are imagining, this oneness that we right now envision for ourselves, for our neighbors, for our colleagues, for the entire planet, for those we don't even like, imagining that vibration of oneness rising up so the world may know a greater experience of love. So the world may experience a greater sense of peace and empowerment and prosperity, a greater sense of all that goodness that is out there just awaiting for us. See, we don't have to wake up to anything. We just have to allow something to be revealed. The truth is always there. Your abundance, your prosperity, your love, your power, empowerment, it is always right there, just awaiting you to say yes to it. So I ask for each, in their own way, in your own voice, say yes to the divine urge to give. Say yes to that calling to serve. Say yes to whatever it might be. Wherever you may see something that wants to change, say yes to being that change. That is how we lift up this world. That is how we create a world that works for all. Saying yes. That yes arises from the deep, deep introspection, that meditative inquiry, that place where we find ourselves becoming still and open to the divine voice of the one, and then ask, what is mine to do here? How do I reveal the great vision for my life in this moment? What can I let go of to be a better conduit through this vision? Where am I being called to serve, and where am I being called to change? To make it up differently. To make it up in a way that works for all of life. That is our mission. To live a life that works for all. And so I speak this word, I send this word out into the vibration of the one with a grateful heart, with that sense of deep gratitude that this oneness is revealing itself here and now. I release this word into the law, that universal law that is already acting upon it, that universal law that must fulfill this prayer. It cannot return this word void. I send this out into that law and just let it be. Get myself out of the way. And I invite you to join me in an affirmation of this truth as we say together, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robert. Very empowering talk. Say yes.
Yes.
And now it's time for our offertory. We are so grateful and blessed for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent, and especially during these times of change. Whether this is your first time joining us or you are a returning community participant, we want to thank you for your continued financial support of the important work we are striving to provide, making a world that works for all. Right now, there are several ways you can make your financial contribution to Center for Spiritual Living Denver. This information is running along the bottom of the screen, or you can place your gift in the basket going around. So please repeat with me our affirmation that we always speak every week. This comes from our founder, Reverend Jim Chandler, who we dearly love and know that he's watching over us all the time. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive, and so it is. And a few announcements right after church, right after service today. We'll circle up our chairs and we will have our meditation. Dr. Robert is going to be leading us in a peace meditation where we will focus on quieting the mind and being fully present. So please stay with us. We've got some goodies that people have brought, and we'll just circle up and then we'll have a conversation after the meditation to discuss. And coming up in September, we have a couple of things going on. We've got our Cinema for the Soul that we have usually every other month. It's on Saturday evening, September 21st at 5:30, and we're going to watch What Dreams May Come. That's the movie from years ago with Robin Williams, and it's an awesome movie. And Teresa had, last week at the Community Cafe, she had talked about dreams and making them work for you. And this is kind of in line with that. So it's just, we'll have some discussion after that, which always kind of gives some depth to the movie and getting clearer understandings of it. And then the next day, we're going to have our Community Cafe again. We had a wonderful turnout last week. We had 19 people, and we just had a wonderful time. And like I said, Teresa did a thing on dreams. And this coming month, we will have Giselle Pelican, one of our practitioners, who will do your spiritual workbox, your toolbox, how to make your finding, like what Dr. Robert was saying, doing visioning or whatever, doing some spiritual practices and continuously doing them. Let's see, we do have older Science Mind magazines, and like I read from the Science Mind magazine today, we have the free ones that are older, but the new ones that just came out are $4 a piece, and it's a bi-monthly, so the new one is September, October. And let's see, if you would like to hear some good news of the world to affirm the good in the world, we have a link on our Facebook page called And Now the Good News. This is from Dr. Robert's New Thought Media Network. This program is put together by New Thought Media Network and airs on Fridays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, but you can go to our Facebook page and check out and there's a bunch of And Now the Good News, and they're just wonderful to watch and listen to. And there is some good in the world. There's a lot of good in the world. We just need to pay attention to it, turn our eyes to it. New Thought Media Network has over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs, and we invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. There's something for everyone. We are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching our services online. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are just so truly blessed with everybody who chooses to join us on Sunday mornings. So let's close out now with Karen Drucker singing, I'm So Grateful.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. So grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am so grateful. Hey, grateful. I'll just count my